of January in the year 2025. All right, let's move straight into our discussion segment this morning. We have Razakaila on the seat already, and we the issues one after the other. Razak, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Debo. Good morning, Bolaji.
He's ready to fire out all available cylinders.
It's New Year. Happy New Year to our listeners. This is the first Monday.
Yeah, this is the first one.
Great to have you.
Yeah.
Azakaila is the editor of Business Day newspaper. We'll be looking at the headlines together this morning. Uh,
So let's start on this note. Traditional institutions pivotal for national unity and development. President Bola Tinubu has emphasized the pivotal role traditional institutions play in fostering national cohesion, governance, and economic development. President Tinubu made this assertion in a message he posted on his verified X handle following a visit by the Awujalo of Ijebuland of Basiru Kayode Adetono at his Lagos residence on Sunday. Do you want to react to that?
Yeah, that's a very good one. But if you look at it, if you consider what Mr. President said, it's very good. But they did not, they only are making the talk or making the talk or talking. They don't walk the talk. I remember what we did in the history, what we did in history of Nigeria. At the time when the British came to Nigeria, they were using indirect rule. And indirect rule involved majorly our traditional chief. In the we had the Oyo Empire and the Yoruba ruling the whole Yoruba language. In the north, we had the emirs at the center of indirect rule. And if you go to the eastern region, we have the obese in the heart of indirect rule. But the 1978 reform, local government reform, has actually taken away the power of the traditional ruler and gave it to the local government chairman and the governors of the states. Today, constitutionally, they don't have any role to play in Nigeria. If you look at it politically or traditionally, then we will say they have some role. As powerful as our Alaki of Egbaland, Baba reports to the chairman of Abeokuta local government. As powerful as anybody who becomes the Alaafin Oyo will be, is answerable to the chairman of Oyo Atiba local government. If you go to the same thing happens to our revered Imperial Majesty Oni of Ife. They are answerable to local government chairman. So they have been delegated to a level that is that shows that they don't have anything in governance, which is so bad. So if they have roles to play, it's only saying it with word of mouth. They don't do anything to empower them to play that role. Meanwhile, they are very important in governance. They don't involve in governance and in government of Nigeria of today, and that's the reason we are having problem. Because as far as Egba is concerned, we know we have 4 regions: the Ake, the Okiono, the Bagura, and Owu. All of them, they know their territory, they know their subjects, they know what should be done at any point in time. Security wise, economy wise, politics or politically, they know what to do at every point in time. But when they have been sidelined, they don't involve them in the way government should be run. Then they will sit at their palaces. The same thing happened to Hema in the north. They don't involve them because there's no constitutional provisions for them to play any role in governance and government. That's the reason you could see that they will sit down and they will relax, and of course they will play a second fiddle, whatever that is being done. Meanwhile, when they are campaigning to become governors, when they are campaigning to become presidents, when they are campaigning to become chairman, the first people they will go to are these traditional rulers. They know how to get them. We knew when Tinubu came to Abeokuta on 2 occasions. He went to Ake. The first time he came to say that our local The second time that they came to say that he has no time, because I followed him to Aki Palace and to see all of us under Egba Traditional Council. The same thing happened to Awujale when he went to see Baba in Debo. So these are the people they will rally around first when they want to become anything. But when they immediately got there, they forget them. Except what they give them as a handout or peanuts as a kind of salaries that they are getting, not from presidency, not from Mr. Governor, but they are getting it from their various governments. So that's the only thing they give them every month. Anything beside that, they are not involved in the governance and government of this country. It is so pathetic that they have been relegated to backdoor, and they don't have any roles to play at all, except to sit in their palaces and do ceremonies and some other things.
So
Meanwhile, it is not good for our democracy.
So that means the government can actually reach, effectively the grassroots by working hand in hand with.
Who are the grassroots? The grassroots are firstly what we make them to be. Of course, they are traditional rulers, traditional chiefs. They live among them. Unlike when you are elected, isolate yourself. If not because we are building making some buildings to Okemoso now. Okemoso is isolated to the town. The same thing if you go to Abuja is isolated. So they isolated. People in government, they don't care even to come to a grassroots. But go to Ake, it's within the Ake territory. Go to Okedo, it is within the background territory. Go to Owu, it is so. These are the people that are closer, or the closest people to the masses. But it's so unfortunate that traditional rulers, they don't have any guarantee roles to play as far as Nigerian law is concerned, as far as government is concerned in Nigeria, and good for our democracy.
All right, thank you. Ibadan Airport will compete favorably at Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos and others after upgrade. This assurance came from the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde. It's reported by the Nigerian Tribune this morning. The Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, assured that Ibadan Airport would compete favorably with Murtala Mohammed International Airport Lagos and others of its kind in the country after the completion of its upgrade to international standards. Engineer Makinde gave assurance at the annual Thanksgiving service that was held recently. Now, the airport, another airport, well, it's an existing airport, a very old one. I think the one at Alakia now.
Alakia.
So it's going to be
They're only
upgraded. Yeah, upgraded. And the governor is saying that it's going to compete favorably with the best around the country. It's like many states are looking towards the airport now. Some of them have had it before that upgrading, like Oyo State. Some of them are just starting from the scratch, just wanting to have an airport. How many can we have before we have enough?
The reason why we are having issues in Nigeria is that we depend so much on one means of transport, which is road transportation. And that's the reason you've got auto crashes here and there. You are putting pressure on that facility, which is our road. I remember when we were growing up, they used to bring rams, cattle through train. And that was the reason you see the Agberon at the place where. So, but now, everything they do now is either by truck or by cars or by buses, and which is not too good. We need to develop all means of transportation. That is when you can say your country is developed. Go to developed countries, they have, even if you go to South Africa, not even the state or county, they're having more airports in one state or more. So what are we trying to say there is that we need to really develop our resources or means of transportation, whether rail, seal, air, and what have you. So we need to really do all these things so that our economy will boost. But if you don't do that, then our economy will continue to remain the same. Let me give you an example of statistics of business and political. Religious, for instance, people are planning now to go to Mecca. In Ogun State, for instance, look at Ogun State. We will need to go to Murtala Mohammed Airport, lift those pilgrims that are going from Ogun State, going to Jerusalem. You have to go to MMA to go from Ogun State. The same thing will happen in Osun, in Ekiti, in Oyo, in Ondo. They will all go to Lagos to fly abroad. When all of us have our airport that's so upgraded that it can work as international airport, then that is superb. Look at what we are doing in Ogun State. Our Ogun State, we are having 3 purposes. Number 1 is domestic passenger flight. Number 2 is international passenger flight. And number 3 is cargo. That's for Ogun State. In Oyo, they're having domestic before, they're upgrading to international. In Ekiti, they are doing the same thing in Ekiti. They're having cargo now, and of course, they want to expand it the way we are doing in Ogun State. In Osun, maybe they had some issues, but they're trying to resolve it. That the Osun will also have airport. So now, if all of us, Ondo is already running domestic flights, so if all of us were having airport, it's expanding our economy, and you can use them. But the only thing you need to do is that we must make them workable. We must make them cheap, competitive, because if it's too costly, people that you are trying to take away from going by road will go back to road. If it's too expensive, people you are trying to take away from going through the rail will go back to rail. So you need to make it competitive, cheap, comparatively. Then you must make it to be functional. So by so doing, our economy will expand, and of course, people will travel with ease. That is what we need now. We need airports. We need rails to connect everywhere in Nigeria. We need, if it's possible, there's nothing stopping us to dredge our Ogun, the Ogun rivers, to connect Lagos. There's nothing stopping them to put ferry on Ondo waterways to connect Lagos. So we need to develop means of transportation. That is when your economy will be boosted. But if you don't do that, economy will be retarded.
The more the merrier.
That's just it.
Now the traditional rulers are talking. Before you said earlier that the government has to work with the traditional rulers, so that they can reach the grassroots. Now there's a statement here coming from the Vanguard. The traditional rulers are saying that the federal government should actually do something about insecurity and then food insecurity in the country. Traditional rulers from Southern Nigeria have urged the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, address food insecurity and economic hardship in the country. The royal fathers, who spoke on the heels of the recent stampedes during the sharing of food palliatives in some parts of the country, said the sad incident further highlighted the level of desperation in the country due to economic hardship. The level of desperation has increased and people are hungry.
These traditional rulers are very, very key in any government that we can think of. They are the people who know their people very well. In Ogun State, for instance, we can secure Ogun State if only they allow traditional chiefs to work. How? If you go to the whole Egba township, they have local hunters, they have vigilance groups that can secure the whole Egba. The same thing happened in Ijebu. The whole Ijebu, they have local hunters, they have vigilance groups that can secure the whole Ijebu. Ditto for Sokoto, ditto for Maduguri. For if only they allow traditional rulers who are the head of different communities to partake in security architecture, in security of the community, because community make a local government and local government make a state. So it's only because they don't involve them and they don't want to poke nose into things that they don't, because I know that in Naki, for instance, in our idea, they can actually mobilize the hunters that will secure our people. But when nobody is doing that, when nobody is approaching them to do that, if they do it, they can be accused of usurping the power of government. And that's the reason they need to sit back and allow them the way they are running it. The best way to fight insecurity is to involve traditional chiefs. That's the best way, because they know their territory, they know the Egba land, they know how to secure it, they know the Jebu land, They know how to and the realm of land. So you need to get them involved in security and insecurity. If you don't get them involved, you will be continuing to be wrangling in one circle, and that is not too good for. That is why I'm saying they need to get them involved more in the insecurity fighting. They need to get them more, even in agriculture, because they know, despite the fact that the Omonile, they've sold almost all the land that we have, they know where we still have land that we can still farm. They know where we still have land that we can still give industries. So these are the people that are the custodian of not only culture but of people. So they know their people very well and they can act. But when you don't give them the role to play, then they sit back. And that's the reason we must get them involved. It's not enough for President Tinubu to say they are very important in grassroots development. He needs to get them involved by legislating and giving them role to play legally so that they will be part and parcel of governance and government.
And there will be an end to food insecurity.
They can be held to it. The end will come to it when we get stakeholders involved. Stakeholders like traditional rulers, stakeholders like real farmers, stakeholders like those who are ready to work, like youth, stakeholders like NYC core members. Because if core members are deployed to farming, I bet you Nigeria will be out of food insecurity. But me and you will never allow our young graduates to go farming. What we want is office job, which is not handy, which is not available. So we need to get them, prepare their mind that, oh, even if you can farm and make ends meet, then why not go farming?
One thing is to want to farm. What about the insurgents that will stop them on farm?
That's what I'm saying. That for instance, if you talk about all our land, 6 local governments that makes up Egba land, there's no household that these traditional chiefs don't know. There's no names, family name that they don't know. There's no land, farming, industrial land or residential area that they don't know. So it's only takes you to involve them in the way you are administering all these things. If you don't involve them, then they will sit back because they are not legally empowered to be involved in what you are doing. And what you are doing might not be so successful if you don't get grassroots, if you don't get traditional rulers, if you don't get stakeholders that matter, then you are only labor in vain.
Now, let's see what we can learn from Ekiti State in terms of food security, which you just mentioned. You have been one person who has spoken glowingly about the effort being put into farming in that state. And now there is a report in the Nigerian Tribune recently that mentioned, is it Ilueye Agro Trading and Aggregation Company Limited by the state. Now, they said that is an effort towards okay, let me read that out. The Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security, Ebenezer Bolaji, in a statement made available to the Nigerian Tribune in Adeyinka, to explain that the setting up of the company was part of the measures by the administration of Governor Biodun Yebanji to ensure food security in the state. And they were also talking about post-harvest, preventing post-harvest losses. And that things other states need to learn.
A lot of things they need to learn. Number one, Ekiti government, whether it is legal or illegal, they don't joke with their traditional rulers. Whatever they do, they involve them in whatever they do. As a matter of fact, there's some land that the government has taken over from Ekiti people in the name of Odua investment. You know, it is joint powerhouse or in all the southwest government. The man had to get the land again for them for farming purpose. And for every move that Biodun Yebanji makes, it will involve traditional ruler. I remember I was editing a story last time. They were trying to resuscitate and get on board the Kogosi waterfall. They had to involve that KBC within that territory. For everything they are doing, they will call one Alara of Ilara. They will call one Ikere of Ikere. They will be bringing them on board because they know that if you are to farm, these are the owner of the land you want to farm on. Forget about government using the power according to 1979, 78 Land Use Act. Forget about the power. Go and meet them because they are the real owners of this land and they know which one is good for farming, which one is good for residents, which one is good for industrialization. So you need to collaborate with them. If you don't collaborate with them, we will not get it right. For instance, we are having Ofada in Ogun State, in Egbaland, where we farm Ofada rice. Today, it's taken over by Omoline, and government is handicapped. It's not doing anything to that effect. Today, Ofada is very, very expensive, even more than small good Polish rice. Why? It's because the land that we use to farm Ofada in Egbaland has been taken away from us. That's one. The second thing is that where we now have places to farm Ofada, there is no support from anywhere. So people are just doing Ofada like the way we used to do it in the olden days, peasant farming. That's the reason you could see that Ofada is getting expensive because they are producing very little for a very large number. They take it abroad. Ofada is being sold in London, it's sold in Canada, it's also without little effort of our peasant farmers. So we just need to get all these people involved. We just need to learn that we cannot do agriculture alone. We must involve the villagers. We must involve traditional rulers, traditional chiefs. All those critical stakeholders must be involved if you want to really do farming. Not that you are launching a farming and you are getting all political jobbers, word for word, local government for local government, and distributing farming input for them. It cannot work. That's just, it cannot work.
Okay.
Alright, it cannot work. Another story here.
Let's open the lines
All right.
first. Then
Okay, there we go to that.
let's open the lines so that the listeners can also be part of this as we continue to also hear from Razak in the house. Hello, good morning. Okay.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Okay, can try to call
Yeah,
back.
Zero,
003
yeah.
00343794453 or 081503202226. Hello?
Hello, good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Doing great.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning to you. My daughter.
Good morning, sir. Happy New Year to you, sir.
Happy New Year to you.
Yes, I wish you the same.
I hope you are very well.
Yes, sir.
Papa is happy.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o, àmàlà àti ewédú ni o, gbàgùrà ni o.
In fear of government by the government, I couldn't. I really know the control of the government from the group of capacity of leaders, political leaders. Because when they complain about action, they are threatening with sending them to the land. That's the command. That's the command. And when they bring one like a family to go to one protection, and when you want to break with job with that, the right, the let us hand over their, what you call it, the type of office. So that's why she's taking them away, taking them to that. So, then, so therefore, in the right, I used to tell the blackness that he is bad now. He said second home. I started coding in 1951. Left that place when I retired in 1978.
Wow.
Wow. 7 years. I married there. I left my children there before coming back. I like you. I like you. That airport is the only day. Yes, I just want to see. the only airport in Nigeria. It should be developed. I want to thank the government for trying to do that. It should be made an international one to compete with any airport in the world. That's my concern. Also, but that would be very well for the I don't think Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Somebody, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling, sir.
0803 447 9453 0815 032
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Gentlemen of the press,
Good morning,
Good morning,
sir.
sir.
good morning to you.
Yes, sir.
Wale Osheni is my name, calling from Israel, my base.
Welcome.
I appreciate you, Prince Razan Kaila.
Thank you, sir.
For your mission. I want to remind you that in the old Western region, we had House of Assembly
Yes, sir.
and we had House of Chiefs, where the traditional rulers meet to deliberate on the development of the region. They will now give the result of whatever they arrive at to the House of Assembly, so that when they are legislating, the traditional rulers' opinions will have been carried along. And that was why we had it so good at that time. Like you have rightly said, the traditional rulers have been relegated to the background. And whereas the governance may not be very easy without them, because they have the control of the traditional, the grassroots. If we can go back to that kind of a thing, to give a role, a prominent role to the traditional rulers, we will have it better than what it is now. And again, let me quickly touch, oh God, I've forgotten what I want to mention.
On food security.
Thank you. Security, yes. Security. All these traditional rulers have their traditional chiefs who are distributed to the entire land, who can call on the security agencies of the traditional level to put security in a better state. And that means if we don't involve these traditional rulers in governance and government, we may not be having it as good as it would be. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you very
Good
much.
morning. 0803 437 9453 0815 032 0226. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, good morning, Mr.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Debo and Bolaji.
Good
Welcome,
morning,
sir.
Again, that's the wonderful. Okay. I am Simba Okono from Israel.
Welcome.
Yes, I want to combine my comment on the role of traditional leaders and security. That's something anybody can say. That will convince any African person that traditional rulers don't have a role to play. They have a very big role to play. Just in terms of maintaining law and order, that means maintaining security. Because they are the process leaders, rulers to the people. But my word is this: whether by out of design, whether by mission or commission, traditional rulers have allowed themselves to become subservient to the the local government or the governor, etc. I want you to recall the days of the government of Ishara, Abraham Ishara, and Ishara here. He was very firm to the extent that he had a question with the state government and with the federal government there. And he said that this was 10 years. That's what they were called. 10 years over. But he stood his ground. And then today, I don't think anybody can say that he was not a force of the government. I think that the families should put themselves in such a position. It is true that people need money. Church leaders also need money. But if they stand firm, they can maintain that institution. And then honor is in the that money. That's my advice to them. They should not be portraying to the political leaders. I think it's important. They should have not to the house. If I become another idea in Shara, I'm not wondering whether I will allow myself to be pushed around. When I'm talking about, okay, the national security, the national want that. They know the lane and the workers can control them. Here in Shara, for example, the Ottoman can control the hunter, the local vigilante group. Let that be done and that has been emphasized. And that's why I say that wrestling from Abuja, also stretching the hand, reaching the grassroots cannot work. That's the grassroots upwards. That's my strong advice and opinion. And let's talk about the airport. I don't want to say anything.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much for calling. 003 437 9453 0815032 0226. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm greeting you, two presenters, and let me call you now, Tina Christian of Nigeria. Happy New Year to you and happy first Monday in 2025. We don't want to get this is my name.
Welcome. Welcome, man.
In fact, let me just give kudos to Alawo of our. A meeting was held early last year with the farmers and the cattle rearer. I was there, DSS officer were there, and civil defense. Undertaking was given to the farmers, but some farmers are so angry that they were macheting their cows. So, because how can a cow come to your farmland and you be hungry? So pictures were taken and shows, and Kabesi gave them. And one of the things Kabesi gave those cattle that they doesn't want to see a child under 18 doing that work. So, in fact, committee was formed from the farmers, and they were saying they should have a meeting. So it's even thinking of doing that to see what happened a year ago. 2 farm settlements are in my area, our oasis to Kurere, where I came from. So that meeting have really reduced so many security stuff, because you can imagine in my Orissa, for those boys to open the cassava for cows to be eating, they shut out the mouth. So that's bad. So that has really gone down. But the fact that not all traditional leaders are proposed to government, because I'm still wondering what happened at Bado. That somebody was saying, Ejide, Ejoko, you know, that kind of stuff is so disgraceful to me. So with what I just told you about Alawo now, if all other of us are doing the same thing, I think everything will go around and Nigeria will be good.
Thank you. That's what we are talking about. That if all of them, government cannot do that. It's only the traditional rulers who can call them to a meeting and resolve any issues between them so that they can live and cohabit peacefully. And that is what we want the others to be doing and traditional chiefs to be doing. They are the owner, they know the territory, they know the terrain, they are the owner of their various communities. They should be able to control over them.
Yeah.
They should be able to resolve some issues that may put the country into problem. So if everybody, like the madam said, is copying allow and meeting all these headers, farmers, and some other people that matter, they'll be able to resolve the issue that might be bring among them and bring peace. So that is what we want them to do, and that is what we want government to do, to empower all these original chiefs to have roles to be playing according to our law and constitution, so that they will help them in government and governance.
Okay, I want to appreciate all our callers this morning. Thank you very sincerely. Thank you for your time, for your contributions and thoughts. Everyone who listened in, we appreciate you. And for our guest, Azakla, who is here every Monday. Razak,
Thank you.
That's always mine.
Azak is the editor of Business Day newspaper. And of course, a big thank you to all the contributors today.
Yes, want to appreciate the editors, Idris Adelakona, Kim Sulaiman, the ICT man, Daniel Okechukwu. The sound manager has been Femi Akinola. It's been a chemic show for Lawe Chukwu production. I am Bolaji Eze, saying have a beautiful rest of your day.
We shall review the editorial shortly. I am Debo Adeyinka. Please stay with us.